Board of School Directors. I'd like to welcome everyone that's here tonight and all those that are online. Wish you all a Happy New Year. And will you please join me in the pledge to the flag? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. Martin, may we have attendance, please?
We have 7 school directors present tonight. We have 2 absent, being Mark Gensel and Kathy Trowbridge.
And we also have in attendance the superintendent and his administrative cabinet. This is our work session, one of 2 meetings a month in which we receive most of our informational presentations as well as discuss and deliberate future decisions. There may also be some action voting item required on timely issues or to meet time restraint guidelines. All agendas and related documents are posted on the district website. Are there any changes to the agenda, additions, corrections, or deletions? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Superintendent's comments, Dr. Hartman.
Good evening, Happy New Year, everyone. It's nice to be back from the break. I don't have a lot of updates this evening, but I did want to share with everybody, we had our first comprehensive planning steering committee meeting last week on January 4th. It was a great start to the process where we had about 25 different stakeholders here, from teachers, administrators, parents, different community leaders that were chosen to be a part of the steering committee, where for the first meeting, we talked about the current comprehensive plan that we're under and gave a little overview of that, talked about the planning process, and then we had a little bit of a group discussion. We broke into 4 smaller groups and just had some conversations just to sort of break the ice about our district vision, mission, and values, and how we want that to really lead be our North Star and lead the charge as our process. So it was a great meeting, a lot of good conversation, a lot of the community members and parents that were a part of the process had really good comments to make. And so we're excited about where this is gonna take us, and we're confident that we're gonna end up with a comprehensive plan just as well designed and quality as the one that we currently have, which is a really good plan. So looking forward to getting that started. It's been an exciting start to the school year. That concludes my comments for the evening.
Are there any board comments on district activities? If not, this is the place in the first place in the agenda where we allow public comments on any issues that are on our agenda. Is there anyone who would like to address the board? If not, we'll move right on to our action discussion items with policy review. Mrs. Huntsman.
Good evening.
I am so glad to have this group of policies done.
Well, it's really fun and exciting, finance policies. I mean, that doesn't get too much better than that. Anyway, last month you had a majority of the finance policies that you could review, and they'll be up for a first reading next week. But there were several that I held back because I wanted to talk to our solicitor, get some clarification on some language. And what PSBA proposed on these policies, for the most part, was fine with us. But I did want to point out to you that there were 2 policies that we did make significant changes to from what PSBA had recommended. The first policy is number 609. It pertains to investments. There was Act 10 of 2016 was passed years ago, which permitted school districts to invest in certain types of investments that had a higher risk but also provided a higher yield, rate of return. We've always taken the very conservative approach. It's taxpayer money. We just follow what the original Pennsylvania School Code authorized. We have never enacted those particular types of investments, and our policy was very strict about that. When I got the policy from PSBA, it included the language for Act 10. So I eliminated all of that language out of the policy, and I even added a line that, the district is not permitted to invest in those types of investments unless we change our investment policy. The solicitor was fine with that, so that wasn't a problem, but I wanted to let you know about that. The second policy that we made some significant changes to is number 620. Our original policy was stated fund balance and debt management. And what PSBA came back with was just fund balance. And we contacted PSBA, and they do not have a debt management policy at all. And I think that's significant because of the amount of liabilities that we can have from all of the bond issues that we've issued. So we reincorporated PSBA's changes to the fund balance, some of the little verbiage changes, but then we also pulled back in our part of our original policy on debt management, and our solicitor too was fine with that. But those were the two big changes that we made, and we wanted to make sure you were aware of them.
Any questions? If not, this will be the consent agenda for next week. Thank you.
One
yes.
of them,
No, I'm sorry.
I thought that I read in the bottom that it took away a 22,500
Okay.
limit.
Yes, so we are required to go out for bid or get quotes whenever we have purchases that are over a certain threshold. PSBA's policies address those specific thresholds, but they change every January. So we just changed the language to reference the law that was passed several years ago that changes the thresholds every year, instead of having to rechange the policy all the time to keep up with it.
And I think that was that we could purchase anything under 22,500,
Yeah.
but now that limit is gone, and those are budgeted purchases?
They're budgeted purchases, but if it's over 22,500, we have to go out for bid. Or if the vendor is on a cooperative purchasing contract, the bidding has basically been done. We're just piggybacking and we can go ahead and purchase without going out to bid. If that helps answer your question.
Well, what was
I'll
the- what was
believe
the-
it when I see it.
Well, what was the question? What do you want to rephrase it, or?
No, I just thought, oh, that's odd that we no longer have a limit of 22,500.
We do have, what the added verbiage was to point us to the law that was passed several years ago that says this is the purchasing limit and it changes every year, and then they publish that every year. So we're still referencing back. So
There's
there is
still a
a,
limit.
we still have a
The
threshold.
idea is we won't have to change policy every year because the number changes every year.
So we link to another document, or another policy.
Okay, okay,
So it's not an unlimited checkbook.
okay.
No.
So you'll still bid things out, but the threshold will change.
Okay,
And they usually let us know at the beginning of each year what that number is.
Mhm.
okay.
Yes,
Any other questions?
thank you.
If not, thank you. Mrs. Myers, Buckskin Activities Alliance.
Hi. I'm quick and easy tonight. So I have only one grant application that was put in. We had two, but one actually got covered under Mrs. Henry's budget because it was a safety issue, and it was the net at the varsity field for the cages. So they took care of that. So we only have girls lacrosse, which is for a camera, when it's basically for them to be able to watch film and see what they can do and what they can improve on for the next part. So, and they're actually willing to share that around. So we approved it on our end, and now I need to have you guys approve it so we can buy it. We went with the Best Buy one, and it was $419.94, and that did come with a protection plan. So,
Is that why you're not taking low bid?
is it not why?
Well, the other two bids were lower.
The one at Best Buy was the one they really truly wanted.
Why?
It had a little bit more capability to it than what the other two
Oh,
did.
it's not the same thing.
It wasn't the exact same, so
Oh,
what they
okay.
were looking for, and plus the other two didn't offer a better warranty with the one that Best Buy did, so they chose that one. Normally they do go with the lower one, but they chose that one.
That stuck out. that
Yeah,
you were not taking the low
Yeah,
bid.
we're usually on the lower end of stuff, and then, I think because with the Geek Squad and being able to trade things in and out, and it was right here. So Shannon really did her, research when it came to this grant, so she did really good with that.
Any concerns with that? If not,
Do you
we'll
need
put it on our
approved tonight?
consent agenda.
Or do you need approved tonight?
We don't really need it approved tonight.
consent.
It's on the thingy,
Well,
but
we can't, it's not on the budget, it's not on the agenda for a vote.
it's just
small
one
amount.
consent, but that's the thing they have to come back for.
It's a small amount, if you're really pressing it.
Yeah, it's not, they're just now getting started, so it's. but they don't
Just
have
moving
games
things
yet.
along.
They don't have games yet, so, okay, good. Thanks.
Lancaster County CTC budget, Dr. Hartman.
Sure. So we did get our preliminary general budget proposal from the Career and Technical Center. There's two documents that are shared in board docs. One is the actual preliminary budget. There's also a nice summary sheet that they put together that really highlights some of their programs and their enrollment and program expansion information. Just to give a brief overview, this is on for approval next week, but we're looking, the proposed total budget of the CTC is about just under 17 million. It includes a 5.95% increase from last year, which will result in a 5.3 increase in what each member district has to put towards it compared to last year. So that's a little bit higher than typical. Last year was a 4.9% increase, but then prior to that, typically between 2 and 3% is what the increase is for school districts. So a little on the higher end, but they've had a lot of program expansion. Specifically for this upcoming year, the diesel program is a huge investment that they've made based on local needs. So our district share of the total Lancaster County district contributions, CV share makes up about 6.5% of that, or about 1.2 million. For those of you not familiar, that's based on your ADMs, your average daily membership. So, you get a ratio based on your amount. So it's not really it's pretty consistent with what we've seen in years past. A little bit of an increase at the last PAC meeting I was at, they explained that was mainly based on program expansion, not because of increasing costs, although that's obviously always a factor too. Phil, I know you're our representative. I'm not sure if you have anything to add or.
No, you pretty much nailed it.
I expect this will continue to grow as requests for CTC services continue to grow.
Right.
Do they have any predictions
As far as in what?
what kind of growth they expect to see?
That's a good question. I can ask that. Not that I know of, but I know that, I mean, it depends on, obviously, on the,
On kids?
right, and the different classes and things that they offer, but most of them are maxed out. What was that?
I think they projected
I have to
for
look
the
at
same
it.
number of seats.
Yeah.
Next year, about 150 ADMs.
Right.
Didn't you tell us last time the number of kids?
I
that
did.
take
That's
a
what I
second
was-
choice?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I can probably, if you give me a couple minutes, I can come back to it and look it up, but the percent, or the seats filled,
Yeah.
I think it was in the 93 or something like that overall, I
Do
think.
you remember what kind of programs it is that fill up so quickly that have an overflow request?
I don't know, but I can look that back up.
Okay, well.
I
never
do
mind.
think I remember from the last time, if I'm not mistaken, welding, I think, was a really big one.
Yeah.
I forget what the other ones were, but I can let you know them.
I think your number of 90 sounds about right, because I know our budget amount's based on 150 ADMs, but the formula that the state uses for CTCs for that is, it's 1 ADM for every part-time, half-day student, you get two ADMs for every full-time student, so it's not a one-for-one, so around 80 or 90 sounds about right.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right on that.
Is that something you can find quickly, or should I?
Carry on, I'll let you know if I find it.
Review new course proposals. Dr. Mann, you have the rest of our agenda. Excuse me.
Well, good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. Those of you that are new to the board, just real quick explanation of this process. So over the course of a year, the high school staff will look at student interest and other opportunities that maybe have gaps in our programming or just other opportunities. And as a result of that, they'll evaluate and propose courses to Dr. Fox, and then Dr. Fox and I will sit down and goes through us, and then I sit down with the superintendent, and now I'm here with you. So it goes through that process of just kind of thinking through and making sure that we understand what's being asked of us, and also how it impacts our programming. So typically, the last thing I'll say on that is typically we don't have these many. It's typically maybe like 3 or 4. This year, we're over ambitious. So I don't want, what I'll do is I'll just make a couple comments about each one, and if you have questions, we can go from there, okay? So this first one is looking at kind of a second level career ready program. Currently, our freshmen go through a required course. This will be an elective for upperclassmen. We have a course up at the high school right now that goes through Pitt for, I think it's a half credit course, just half credit. This is similar to that, but broader in the scope of looking at career readiness. So Mrs. Upton would like to see us offer this course. The next one,
Is there any reason why they were not able to give us a more specific cost for this course? I've noticed this throughout this presentation, they're a little vague
yeah,
about what it's going to cost to add any of these courses.
there's really no cost to this course,
Well, it says
minimal.
access to Microsoft Suite presentation hardware and other design software will be needed for all. Other materials will be determined based on individual needs. I just thought maybe they could have given us a more specific
Yeah.
estimate. And that comment carries through most of these presentations. They're very vague.
Yeah, I'm not aware that we would need to purchase anything for this course. But
I'm
we
sorry.
have these resources. If you're talking about using it in the course, you know, but there is really, I'll double check, but I don't think there's anything to be purchased there. I'll double check for you. The next one is Excel into the future. And this is one of those courses where when you think about a tool that all of us will benefit from. I wish I had a course in Excel. I mean, it's something that regardless of what you're doing, having skills using Excel is beneficial. So a couple things on this course. One is that we're looking at credentials. So this course, you know, going through this course could lead to getting Microsoft credentials. That's positive in that you just get a credential. It's also positive in that it, for our Act 158, which is the graduation requirements, students that don't get through the threshold of passing the Keystone exams, there's other alternatives for them. One of them is getting credentials. And this would be an option perhaps for some youngster that may need that pathway. But then just also having that skill set and having an industry recognized credential. Plus, another benefit, if you want to say a benefit to the district, is that on our Future Ready Index with the credentials, it'll list all the courses or all the opportunities that our students have to potentially achieve industry recognized credentialing. Questions about that one?
Will this be listed for students, it talks about science, engineering, and math, for all of those students to have it as a recommended course?
For Excel?
Yeah. I mean, if it's so basic that everyone needs it, and it's.
Well, we cover Excel in some of our business courses.
Okay.
This one is
Okay.
more intense specifically on Excel. Excel is honorably
How many
mentioned in other
blocks are
courses.
there in a semester?
I'm sorry?
How many blocks are there in a semester?
There are 5 blocks a day.
Okay.
A semester is 90 days.
So there are 10 blocks a year. So it's 20 times 10.
Okay. The next course is an opportunity to expand college in the high school credit to our business department. So in working with HAC, what this will be is taking the HAC 2 courses, one counting 150 and 151, and actually combining them. So if a student takes this option, in the end, if they obviously need to pass, if they pass the course, they could earn 6 college credits through hack. The reason why we're able to do something like that is a high school day, a high school course is more time. We have more time than a college course as far as, to accomplish that. So they're willing to allow us to combine those, and a student could earn up to 6 college credits on that particular course.
And how much does HAP charge per credit?
Per credit, but I'd have to double check. It's, Dr. Fox, do you remember?
About 125.
Yeah, I was gonna say around 100, but it's 125 a credit,
1.5,
$125
okay,
a credit,
per credit.
per credit. Which is a good deal for our families. But again, just kind of expanding the opportunities for maybe a different population of students that may be interested in that.
Would this be anything that would lead to a CPA?
Well, this course in and of itself, the rigor of it would be at a college level. Now, I don't know what they would have to do to get a CPA. I mean, I'm sure that a student that's interested in that career path, this gives them a leg up. That maybe the introductory courses that may be required for that. All right, which one's next? Cybersecurity. We have a couple of courses here that we want to offer through our virtual academy. Typically, our virtual academy offers courses that the high school or our other programs are offering, middle school, elementary, and so forth. These 3 courses are not offered in our brick and mortar program, but we are having more and more students take a blended schedule. So this isn't necessarily just exclusively to kids that are full-time CBVA. It could be students that have a blended schedule and so forth. This is an opportunity, again, for the business department in CBVA to expand their offerings. And this obviously, this is a growing area of that having, directing youngsters to this particular type of field is advantageous for them. And it's just, I'm sure the number of commercials on TV or advertisements that you see on just security is unreal. So I think a good opportunity to expand the
I
options.
think it's great that these kids have more opportunity for a blended curriculum.
Yeah.
But again, it says associated costs. What kind of costs?
Associated costs for that could be if there are materials that they have to use, but I don't, as far as the virtual academy, there really wouldn't be any associated costs other than perhaps the software that maybe goes along with that program, depending on, let me see here, it's coming out of Accelerate Ed. There may be some costs that they may incur as far as like textbooks, not textbooks, but electronic textbooks that
I'm
go
not
along
gonna
with that.
ask this with every single course. You get my drift.
Yeah.
A lot of times they could be more specific about how much it costs and who pays it. Because in some of these, the students have to pay, and I guess I have a secondary question. Do we help students who can't afford to
Absolutely.
pay?
Absolutely. Yeah, without a doubt. Next course is History of the Holocaust. Again, we have a robust elective program at the high school for social studies. This is just another opportunity to expand that. And looking at what is being offered, so this would be a unique opportunity to have a half credit course focused on the history of the Holocaust. And then social media, another very interesting topic, and coming out of the business department, although through CBVA, but this is also another area that a field that is growing, and this would be kind of like whetting the appetite of students and seeing how those different HRC's work as far as how that's done with social media and how it's done with marketing and how intentional it is and all the various things that are going on there when you're going by Wise Market and you start getting ads on your phone from Wise Market because of the algorithms that are out there and pushing things to you. So how does that all tie together? So another, I think, interesting and appropriate topic. Next one is, we have a unique opportunity, and this was a recommendation through our consultant, to offer a social studies course for newcomers. The unique opportunity is that the ESL teacher is social studies certified. If he wasn't certified, we couldn't do this, but he is certified, so it gives us that opportunity for those newcomers to experience this and have him work with them. And then he would be the person who would be pushing out to them later as they continue in their programming at the high school. So again, another unique opportunity for our students. And that cost there, when you see the $18, that is something that we would cover. It's not a student cost. All right. Exploratory Instruments in Modern Band. We've had a course at the high school called Introduction to Music Forever. And it's one of those, it's a course that if you're not into music, you have to take it. And it's so, enough said. This is an opportunity to do away with that and replace it with something maybe a little more attractive for students. And again, looking at career paths and things of that nature, because we've been able to offer and add other programming at the high school in the music department for audio productions and things of that nature. Again, it's just another opportunity to that introductory level to offer a hopefully a more engaging course for those students. I know that Mrs. Carney had told me that they had submitted 2 grants to pay for the cost of that course. So they submitted to 2 private companies to try and get grant money to cover that cost.
Will this only be for students that have a GIEP?
No, it's open to any, it's just that they have an opportunity. And then the last one, right?
Second to last.
All right, what's the next one? We have
Well,
So we're on
honors
honor.
music ensembles?
Yep. And so here's another, there's an opportunity to offer a upper level course to students that are interested in continuing in music. Often students have to make a decision whether to take an honors level course in a different discipline and so forth. There's just another opportunity for them to consider something else, maybe in an area that they're interested in growing in and so forth. And then the last one here, animation productions for our tech ed department.
This is a Grove, a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, I'll wait till you're done.
Okay, so in this particular course, it's something that we're currently not offering, and you may or may not know, our tech ed department has a very robust offering of courses, and it's well received by our students, and we have a very strong teaching staff there. So this was an opportunity just to keep adding to what they offer.
My question was, in our notes, it says it will not necessarily be included in the high school course catalog, but will be offered as the master schedule allows. I guess what I'm saying is, why wouldn't it be in the course catalog with the notation that it was only offered as needed? Just so students know.
Right, no, my recommendation that it would be included. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no reason why not to include it.
I guess, how would they know we have this
Right.
available if it's not
Correct.
in the course catalog?
Right, well, word of mouth, but no need for that.
That's not how we operate.
The last thing, just to comment on the courses. Yeah, obviously, we run courses based on student interest, and if students don't sign up for particular courses, we don't run them. And so that's just something to keep in mind. So not everything runs all the time. Also, as we work on refining the master schedule at the high school, there are ways to like cycle courses through. So that depending on what year it is and so forth, so a student would have an opportunity through the 4 years here, or she is here, to take a course, so it's kind of cycling through, gives you a broader scope of courses for the students, but then also it helps to keep the enrollment of the other ones up, so when you're coming through like that. So there are strategies like that we'll use to move on these courses. Because one of the great things about Conestoga Valley High School is that we offer a wide variety of courses. It's also one of the more challenging things because we offer a wide variety of courses with the master schedule. But just adding to that. Any other questions or
I
comments?
have a question on the curriculum, so would it be using existing curriculum or developing new curriculum?
Developing, this will be developing. Now, obviously, with some of the, I say obviously, some of the courses around the CVVA, that'll be built around the curriculum that's offered through the academy. So we'll take that and build from there. The Excel course will be rooted in Microsoft Excel. So again, following the industry offered programming, then we would just expand on that. As examples of that.
None of them mentioned that they would need new staff. We have enough staff to cover all of this?
Yeah, and that's part of.
Is there extra pressure on some of our staff schedules? Are some of them carrying extra time to cover these courses?
No, what like I said before about as far as like cycling courses through and so forth, if putting the courses in front of students, and if there's interest, we offer
And
that.
some other
There's
only
only-
half a year.
Right, there's only so many courses you can run, because of the staff you have. And, the staff themselves are very much in favor of these, putting them for, as a department. So they're very dedicated to our students.
Good.
Yep.
Okay,
Anything
we done with that? Want to move on to your next presentation?
Yeah, the next two items, since we were able to add that activity day on January 19th, we needed to, not needed to, but use the opportunity to do more work with Power School and bring in our consultants to work with us. So that's this contract here. We'll be working primarily with Dr. Fox at the high school and his staff, those 2 days.
How many years have we had Power School?
How many years? Not quite one yet.
This is the first year.
This is the first
So
year.
Eventually, we'll get all caught up with the staff.
Eventually, yeah. It's taking time. We will get there. And then the other contract is Dr. Fox was able to secure a keynote address. A speaker for the staff at the high school is a person that he's familiar with from his former school district. And so, again, because we were able to add that day, we went out and got this. So looking for approval on that, and that would be on the consent agenda next week.
Anything else?
I don't think so. unless you have
Your
something.
last one, the restorative practices, that's something I think at some point we need to have a broader discussion on, because just that term restorative falls into discipline
Right.
and various other procedures and processes with our kids.
Yeah, and if I agree. It fits into a lot of the initiatives that we have with the MTSS, PBIS, and so forth, but
I think we all need to understand is how we handle some of these
Correct.
issues.
correct, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Does the board have any questions on next week's agenda? And this is the second time in the meeting we allow public comments on any issue someone would like to bring to the board. Is there anyone that would like to address the board at this time? If not, does the board have any initiatives or concerns they'd like us to bring up for consideration? We just want to get out of here, don't we?
No, but I can tell you real quick on those
Oh, yes,
attendance
thank
things if
you.
you wanted to know. The last numbers I have, the Brownstown is 86%, Mount Joy is 85, and Willis Street's 91% filled. But then there's also like 207 students that didn't get their first or second choice.
Or second.
Right, so are
Ooh.
either waiting or not going or whatever,
Yeah.
so.
So they still have,
They still have some,
pressure to grow or expand.
they still have a couple open seats.
Is the problem
No,
faculty?
I'm sorry, I got it wrong. There's 312 on the wait list, 207 open seats. But would be in programs that those students don't want.
If they were interested in it.
Right, correct, if they were interested in the ones that still have open
Is the
seats.
problem staffing?
There are staffing. Yes, I'm not saying that's the main problem by any means. That is a problem, especially when a lot of these instructors can go back out into the field in this current market and make way more.
Yeah.
So that definitely is a problem, but that, I'm not saying that's the
Okay. All
main
right.
sole problem.
Thank you,
But yeah,
appreciate that.
Yep.
Any other questions before we adjourn? If not, I'll take a motion to adjourn to executive session for confidential student, legal, and personnel reasons.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.